Hello, my name is Garrett Hill. I am the head judge for World Skate, and in this video we are going to be covering the OQS event in Budapest. Starting with the men's prelims in Budapest, it started strong. There was so much good skating in this event round, lots of really cool runs. But again, there were a lot of runs that didn't make it through because of bails. Bails ended up being a really big reason, especially in the men's division, why you don't make it forward into the next event round. But as always, we're going to focus on some of the runs that are closer to the bubble. And our bubble riders were Matt Berger, who's in 17th, who was just outside of the cut for prelims, but making it through in 16th place was Kelvin Hoefler. Both of these runs were very similar, not just in the sense of they both followed kind of the same pattern, the same line, but they did similar tricks. They both did kickflip backtails on the hubba, which was great. They both hit that center bump to black rail, Kelvin doing a backside nose blunt and Berger doing a bump to frontside nose slide. So again, the technical difficulty is there, but at the end of the day, Kelvin's run had a little bit more variety, which is why it got scored and ranked just a little bit above Berger's. But guess what? Moving into semifinals, Berger is back in the mix. Jagger Eaton dropped out to focus more on park skating. He didn't need the points in order to secure his spot for street skateboarding at the Olympics. So Berger is back in the mix. Congratulations. Everything's great. Unfortunately, Berger had some bails in his runs, so he didn't get the chance to put together a full run, and then he wasn't able to pull anything out in the single trick section. So we didn't see that comeback story that we all wanted to see. But congrats to Berger for skating so well in the prelims. Absolutely crushed it. In the semifinal round, we're going to be having a look at Aurelian's run, who placed 9th. He was just outside of the cut. This was a great run from Aurelian. We're used to seeing incredible runs from him, and this was no different. Starting with an over crook on the gap to rail, which is a really risky move to start with. Followed up with a quick kickflip, and then into a back tail on the pyramid ledge, straight into a kickflip back lip. So it's a strong run so far. Here's where it gets really cool. The backside 180 nose grind alley-oop the hard way. I've never seen anybody do that in a competition. This is exactly the kind of filler tricks that they increase your overall impression so much. So it was a really great idea for him to do this in this moment, because we loved seeing that trick, and the overall impression skyrocketed because of it. You don't need to do the hardest tricks ever been done in skateboarding on the big section rail to make a good impression with the judges. If you can sprinkle highlights throughout your run, that's exactly what it takes to have a well-rounded run and get yourself a good overall impression. It is not only ever about doing hard tricks on the big section rail. But he also does a big section rail trick that is insane. The gap, from the pyramid, gapping all the way over the pyramid top to the handrail with a front feeble, also because it's a square rail, is bonkers. That's an absolutely terrifying trick to do in your run. So props to him. That was a great idea. Huge risk. Unfortunately, it didn't come together fully for him at the end because he bailed on the hard flip over the hubba, which is rare to see him bail on a hard flip. But He still got a 64.28 even with the bail. This is exactly the kind of score that you can expect to see when you bail on a big section trick. If he would have landed that hard flip, we could have easily seen this run score in the mid 80s, in the mid to high 80s, I would say. In the semifinals, we see Yuto absolutely dominate. Congrats to him. We're going to talk more about his skating in the finals section. The finals round for men was some of the best skateboarding that I have personally ever seen in any competition I have ever judged. So congrats to everyone that skated in the finals round that made it, because everyone absolutely annihilated it. Big shout out straight out of the gates to Braden Hoban for the impossible 50-50. And my God, the kickflip backside nose blunt on the bump to Hubba, which was huge. It was like neck high, that bump to Hubba. He was the only one that skated it. A great example of how much skating a spot that no one else can skate or will skate because they're too sketched out, how much that's going to move the needle on your score. He was able to get 90 and above. He got a 96 flat for a kickflip backside nose blunt on that. Very, very, very well deserved. Now I want to talk about our 5th place and our 4th place finishers for this final round. 5th place, we have Matthias Del Olio, and in 4th place, we had Richard Turry. Now, Matthias, both of these guys skated incredibly well. I love the skating from both of these guys, especially since we saw some new moves from Turry with the heel flip frontside nose blunt, getting him a 92.04. Love seeing these new heel flip variation tricks. Unfortunately, repetition deductions were coming into play with Richard because of how many heel flips were in his run. Still was able to put up great scores because the technical difficulty is undeniable. There are times where runs will go down where the technical difficulty is so high and the level of skateboarding is so high that you can still put up a good score. I've never said that you can't get a good score from doing repetition. I've only ever said you could get a higher score if you don't repeat tricks. And that's exactly the case between Matthias and Richard Turry. The main thing I want to focus on is that with Matthias, in his run, which was phenomenal, very, very technically difficult, very well-rounded, got a great score for it, he did a half cab nose slide nollie heel flip out on the bump to ledge in the middle of his run. He did it great. It was very cool. It was in the run that counted, so we were looking at that run and all the tricks he did in it moving into the single trick section. In the single trick section, we see Matthias do a half cab nose slide nollie heel flip out on the big hubba. Now, because he's already done that trick, we had to take points off, so it didn't get the maximum amount that it could have gotten. Now, where this comes into play and why this is so important when I tell the riders and the coaches to be careful about repetition is that Matthias' overall points was 265.57, and Turry had a 266.09. If Matthias didn't get hit with the repetition for that one trick, he would have been in 4th place and he would have bumped out Turry. So that's how careful you need to be when moving into the single trick section in regards to repetition. Looking at our podium skaters, again, this is some of the best skateboarding I've ever seen in my life. Sora in 3rd place, absolutely annihilated it. Doing tricks in the single trick section like cab backtail big spin out, unreal. Sora, absolutely unreal trick. Nobody else is doing that. Congrats for coming in 3rd. Very well earned. Coming in 2nd place, we've got Jin Woo. Again, monumentally difficult tricks from Jin Woo and a very well earned 2nd place. Just like in Shanghai, unfortunately, with the repetition deductions because of the kickflip use, it kept him in 2nd place. My God, welcome to the Yuto show. I can't believe the skating that we saw from Yuto at this event. The judges and the skaters and the coaches, everyone was amazed at how well he did. I love a competition where the winner is undisputed. There was no argument that Yuto skated better than everyone else. He absolutely crushed it in every section, and I think really set the standard as to what a winning run and what winning skateboarding, Olympic skateboarding, looks like. So congratulations to Yuto. We're going to talk about his run right now. The thing that I love most about Yuto's run is that he turned a 7-trick run into a 10-trick run by doing actual moves on the quarter pipe. This is another great example of how important it is and how much you can utilize the quarter pipes to your advantage in these runs and in these competitions. This greatly improved the overall impression because he's not just doing axle stalls on these quarter pipes. He did a long backside Smith grind, he's doing backside nose blunt revert, and then again, a frontside blunt stall into a nollie nose grind. The way that he strung quarter pipe tricks into the tricks that followed after that were genius. They were flawless. So this kind of a run, at the end of it, I get to say my favorite phrase, which is, what else could we possibly ask for? I love getting the opportunity to do that. This run fulfilled every single category of the judging criteria. There was no repetition deductions. There was technically difficult. There were no bails. He used the quarter pipes. Unbelievable job. Congratulations to Yuto for this run. And if the run wasn't good enough, moving into the single trick section, Yuto really puts the hammer down here and puts up some of the highest single trick scores ever, with a 95.65 for the nollie blindside 180 into the switch frontside salad grind on the gap to rail, which is bananas. No one's ever done that trick before. Fulfilled all the criteria of what we're looking for in a single trick section. No repetition deductions. Very well deserved for that score. His second trick that counts towards his overall score is another NBD, and that's the nollie 270 blunt slide. What a wild trick. So unbelievably difficult. No repetition deductions here. Did it perfectly and got a 97.10. So well deserved. Huge congratulations to Yuto. What an amazing event to be a part of, and such a great event to lead into the Paris 2024 Olympics. It's going to be an unbelievable show. Congratulations to all the skaters that skated in this event. If you're looking for more information on judging criteria, please go to worldskate.org. There's a ton of information there, and thank you for watching.